This is the regular board meeting of the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District. This meeting has been posted in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. We do have a quorum. Would you please join me in a moment of silence? Thank you. We now have the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Shane Strubart.
Thank you, Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, administration, board members, and audience. Tonight's pledge will be led by Natalie Garcia. Natalie is an 8th grade student at Memorial Middle School. She has been on the principal's honor roll list since kindergarten, and is in the Gifted and Talented program since her elementary years. She actively participated in student council, fire prevention poster contest, UIL reading, and PTA reflections contest throughout her elementary years. This year, Natalie is the president of the Memorial National Junior Honor Society and secretary of Raiders on the Move, a campus organization that focuses on community service. She is also currently involved in UIL social studies, ready writing, maps, graphs and charts, and prose and poetry. She is one of Memorial's top volleyball athletes as well. Natalie recently scored in the 95th percentile on the PSAT, and she continues to be a part of the TSDC Tex Prep Summer Program, which she started in the 6th grade. Natalie plans to attend Rice University and pursue a degree in law. She is joined tonight by her mom, Melissa Baker. Ladies and gentlemen, Natalie Garcia.
Please join me as I say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Natalie. Now we have awards and recognitions. Recognition of PTSA Students of the Month for December 2017, Ms. Brianna Vela Garcia.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Tonight we'll be recognizing our Harlingen City Council December PTSA Students of the Month. The students you will see on camera proudly represent Harlingen High School South, Early College High School, and Harlingen School of Health Professions. We hope you enjoy this student-produced video created by a team in the Media Arts and Communications Academy.
My name is Alyssa Rodriguez. I go to Harlingen High School and I'm in 12th grade. I'm in varsity orchestra, varsity cheer, and I'm in the National Honor Society. I don't really have a dream, but I'm really passionate about music. I want to go to the University of Texas at Austin, and I want to study business.
My name is Luke Disk. I'm a 12th grader, a senior at Harlingen High School. I'm a varsity soccer player. I'm the hospitality chair for PTSA, Parent-Teacher Student Association, and I'm involved in National Honor Society. I don't know if I have a dream per se, but I know I'm passionate about soccer, and I'd like to pursue law later in life. I went to go to school first to Texas A&M University to study economics. I think that's the best pathway to study law later. And then I'd probably go to Stanford after my first 4 years.
My name is Cassandra Morin. I'm a senior at Harlingen High School South. I'm I'm in National Honor Society, National Technical Honor Society, PTSA, HOSA, band, and certified medical assisting. I hold a position with PTSA as publicity chair alongside my mother, and I'm HOSA secretary. I plan to go to the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley, and I will be majoring in biology and taking the pre-med route. After obtaining my bachelor's degree from UTRGV, I plan to attend UT Health in San Antonio for medical school. HCISD has provided me with an excellent education and wonderful educators that push me to do my very best. I'm thankful for the programs I was able to participate in, especially band, because I made some of my best friends in there, and we have made special memories that I'll never forget. My dream is to become a family doctor because I get to heal every member of the family, and it holds a very special place in my heart because family is my biggest priority, and I would want someone to take good care of my loved one. So I just want to do the same thing for others.
I'm cheer captain of the Harlingen High School South cheer team. As a cheerleader, I think what you learn the most is leadership, cooperation, and dedication. I am also in the audio and video production club. I am vice president. There we compete in multiple activities like Skills USA or the Cinesol Film Festival, which is the 36-hour or the 24-hour. And we also do the Student Film Awards, which is every year taking place in HCISD. I'm in other clubs and organizations for the school, such as the Media Arts and Communications Academy, Parent Teacher Student Association, National Honor Society, and Senior Council, where I'm the historian. Since I could remember, my life goal has always been to go to college, learn what I must to pursue a career that I am passionate about, and become successful in that career. As I got older, I realized that what I wanted to do most is to become a film director. It's honestly what drives me every day to work as hard as I can, so that way one day I can become a film director and pursue my passion.
My name is Andrew Bettis, and I'm a senior and I attend Early College High School. I'm in drama club, which is my favorite. I'm in music club, which I'm very active in. I'm in PTSA, also as I'm active in everything. Student Council and National Honor Society, which were just all around involved in our community. I would actually really like to be an actor, a director, and a screenwriter. It's just all stuff that I've been passionate about since a long time. I would love to attend UT Austin and study in communications. At HCISD, throughout the 4 years that I've been here, I've accumulated great friends and great experiences, and it's just an overall great place to be.
My name is Edward Ramos. I am 12th grade in Early College High School. I'm currently in cross country and track for Harlingen High School, and for Early College High School, I'm a PTSA member and music club. Leadership roles would have to be cross country and track. As a varsity runner, we would have to lead our younger athletes to train to become better. My dream is to become a professional runner. I want to get sponsored by some running company and hopefully make the Olympics. The school that I want to go to is University of North Texas, and I want to study mechanical engineering and minor in accounting.
My name is Genesis Garay. I'm a senior at the Harlingen School of Health Professions. I'm in the Spanish Club, Rotary, and HOSA, and I currently work after school. My dream is to be a registered nurse, and I'm really passionate about helping other people in need to get proper medical care. I plan to go to school at UTRGV, and I plan to go to the nursing program.
My name is Hannah Brady, and I'm a senior at the Harlingen School of Health Professions. I'm currently involved in the senior class counselor, and I'm a vice president of that, and I'm also vice president of the Rotary Interact Club. My dream is to become a radiologist, however my passion is actually baking. I want to go to school at UTSA. I'm very passionate about going there, and I would like to major in biology. My experience at HCISD has actually been very amazing. I'm very grateful that they have this school for me, and that way I can pursue my career and have that jump start to kick off my medical career.
So at this time, I'd like to ask the students of the month that are here with us today to please stand and be recognized. If there are any parents or grandparents in the audience, can you also stand to be recognized?
Parents, come on.
The video tonight will be available for viewing on our district's YouTube page tomorrow, in case you want to see it again and share it. I'd like to ask the December students of the month to come forward for a photo with the board.
They're all here? There's 8?
I know, they didn't get the memo.
This is Christmas Eve.
Do a selfie, fake selfie. I'll hold it for him.
Right?
Thank you. Good to see you. Parents, thank you for coming so much. It means a lot to us. Thank you.
Thank you,
Congratulations. Mr. Javier De Leon.
Yeah. Don't let him bother you. Troublemaker.
I had to announce him, George. I had to announce him.
Wrong chair.
Next year. I was already up for it.
That's right.
Yeah, wow.
That's right.
It's good to go back to family, to his grandfather. Very well, so, very well. Thank you.
Good job, everyone.
Congratulations to all of you. We're very proud of you. Very well. Now we have recognition of Harlingen High School Public Speaking Contest winner, Mr. Shane Schubart.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Tonight, we honor one of our top students from Harlingen High School. Ms. Kara Cash competed in the public speaking contest at the State Fair of Texas in Dallas on October 18th of this year. She was in the Agricultural Technology Division, which had 31 contestants from all over the state of Texas. This division was separated into two groups, and Kara was selected as one of the top two in her group to compete in the quarterfinals. In the quarterfinals, she placed third and was only 0.6 points away from second place and competing in the semifinals for the scholarships. This was the second time Kara competed in the state level in public speaking. She competed in the same category in the Texas FFA Public Speaking Contest and won first place at the FFA district and area levels. She then advanced to the state level and competed at the Texas FFA State Convention this past summer, where she placed fourth place. Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, would you please come forward to help us recognize Ms. Cash? Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Harlingen High School student, Ms. Kara Cash. Can we get the rest of the trustees to come down for a group photo? We'd also like to invite her teacher, Mr. Cash.
Mr. President, with an award on public speaking, I think Mrs. Fleurier is probably the only one qualified to give some remarks after that. So I'll defer to her.
Dr. Pettis, how gracious you are. Thank you. Actually, what I told the family was we would far rather listen to Kara speak tonight and hear what she's been talking about and how she presents herself than listen to each other. So we're so proud of you. I think it's remarkable. And, you know, it's just, it's really It is really extraordinary how comprehensive the FFA program is. And I'm assuming that many of you in this room know that already, but it is really remarkable to attend their banquets and their events and see all of the areas that are covered by FFA work. It really is astonishing, and we are super proud of you. Congratulations.
And congratulations, Kara. I would be remiss if I would not share with the audience that that's where I got my start. NFA, FFA, in speaking and also doing, they call it chapter conducting back then. What do they call it now? Chapter conducting. That's parliamentary procedure. That's Robert's Rules of Order. That's how you conduct business. And compete at the state level. And I'm just so proud of Future Farmers of America. And Dad, Mr. Cash, I know you're bursting with pride, and we're proud of you all. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay. We move to approval of minutes, November 8th, 2017 Team Building Workshop.
Mr. President, move approval of the November 8th, 2017 Team Building Workshop minutes as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Pettis, second by Mr. DeLeon. Is there discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. November 14th, regular board meeting.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the regular board meeting minutes from November 14th.
I second the motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Hyman, second by Ms. Flourier. Is there discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we move to the principal's report. The presenter, Mr. Alex Gonzalez, Principal, Memorial Middle School. Mr. Gonzalez.
Oh, it did work. Good. Mr. McShann, Dr. Cavazos, board members, and senior team, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present on behalf of Memorial Middle School. It's been a while since I've been in front of you.
Yeah.
I will tell you that Memorial Middle School is one of my favorite topics. I've been associated with Memorial for close to 50 years as a student, as a teacher, and as an administrator. And that's the only editorial. I'll stick to the script from now on. This past year, Memorial was awarded a maximum number of distinctions from the state, the maximum that the state can award. I think I have a mouse somewhere in here. Oh, there it is. Through this short presentation, I would like to show you the journey that ended up with the receipt of 7 gold stars for our campus. It is my intent to compress a 3-year process into a short presentation. However, I hope I can still show enough data so that you can witness the amazing accomplishment attained by our teachers and our staff. Our journey began with 2 little lonely stars in 2015. The state can award up to 7 distinctions or gold stars. We were not happy. In this presentation, I hope to explain how the state awards these gold stars and what we had to do to get them. So we looked at our targets. Our targets, of course, are 7 stars: academic achievement in ELA reading, academic achievement in mathematics, academic achievement in science, academic achievement in social studies, top 25% student progress, top 25% in closing the performance gaps, and post-secondary readiness. And of course, with 2 stars, we were a little bit far behind on this. This is how our designation looked for Memorial in 2015. In order to set our sights on higher achievement, we needed to dig deeper into the data. We needed to understand what the state expected in order to award recognitions, distinctions. We knew that leaving it up to chance would not accomplish our goals. As you can see on this one chart, the distinction summary shows the number of times that Memorial ranked in the top 10, they call it quartile 1, out of 12 possible indicators as compared to the assigned comparison group of 40 schools. with similar demographics. Performance indicators in math were not counted in 2015 because we had just gone into new TEKS for math. The state looks at how a school scores percentage. If you look at the percentage column, the score column, excuse me, those are percentages. So the state looks at the school scores in each subject area and then compares that score to however many other schools there are in the group. So the group is 40 schools throughout the state. However, not every subject area has the same number of indicators. Science and social studies are only tested at the 8th grade level. So the state looks at only that score and the campus attendance rate in order to determine a distinction. So if you'll notice, we did get a distinction in science on that particular year. So in these two subject areas, if only one indicator ranks in the top 10 within the comparison group, the campus is assigned a distinction. Reading, ELA, on the other hand, has multiple indicators. So they are tested in 6th grade reading, 7th grade reading, 7th grade writing, 8th grade reading. We also look at the attendance rate for the campus and the student growth as well. So in order to get a distinction in reading, you have to get at least 3 out of the 6 indicators in the top 10 out of the 40 schools that you're being compared to. I want you to notice a couple of things with this first graphic, and I want you to notice the social studies, because the percentage in social studies on this particular year was 5%. Also look at the percentage of the EOC Algebra 1 performance, which in this case was 44%. Also notice that what the state is looking at is level 3 on each of these categories. They're also looking at student growth. So you could have 2 campuses. One campus might have a higher percentage of passing than another, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get the awards, because once again, you're looking at student growth, and you're also looking at level 3, which is the top level. Level 3 would be like if you take a test and you get an A on the test. That's what a level 3 really means, a master on that one. So I want you to keep an eye on the social studies and algebra, because you're going to see a dramatic change over the 3 years. In 2015, Memorial ranked 18th in Index 1, 29th in Index 2, 10th in Index 3, and 11th in Index 4. So, in moving forward, what we had to look at was, what were our hurdles? What did we have to overcome? We are between 79 and 80% economically disadvantaged. This year, our percentage of economically disadvantaged is 80%. We're competing with, actually it's 40 other middle schools throughout the state. The demographics are similar, but they're not exactly alike. We needed to understand the state accountability system. We needed to confront the data. And of course, resistance to change. That's always an issue. I found these graphics on the internet. We know that there's a natural resistance to change, but how can anybody improve without change? And change must be driven by data. It cannot be just change for the sake of change. Once we agreed that change was needed, we needed to determine what changes would bring us the most success. Self-evaluation is very difficult for most people. Review of data has guided our changes. We knew that our focus had to shift from just meeting expectations to reaching the top level, which is that A, that 90% on the test. Every tested area developed a plan. These are just a few of the plans that were developed at the campus through collaboration. More emphasis on student growth and individual student accountability. More classrooms. Every classroom was required to have a data wall to chart students' progress throughout the year. More emphasis was placed on mastering the STAR test instead of just passing it. We looked at our grading policies. How did our grades in our classes, especially in pre-AP classes, compare to the STAR result? We needed to re-examine our classroom expectations. So in 2016 brought signs of success. Distinctions in math, science, closing performance gaps, post-secondary readiness. We knew that we were on the right track. Our distinction summary had many top 10 indicators and only one indicator in the quartile 4. You see it in red there, I highlighted for you. It can be noted that our emphasis on student growth and level 3 performance was really starting to pay off. Notice that the number of indicators have now jumped from 12 to 15. So now they're including the math in the indicators. One thing also that I asked you to pay attention to is that social studies score went from 5% to 9% in the level 3 indicators. Algebra score went from 44% to 65% in level 3. Success is a great motivator. Planning is much easier, so we go back to work. More focus on student improvement. Increase and improve the vertical alignment of STAR objectives from 6th to 7th to 8th grade. More STAR-formatted questions. More focus on increasing rigor and trying to achieve that level 3. 2017, successful year. All 7 distinctions achieved. And if you look at our distinction summary, it's a sea of green. Again, notice social studies. Social studies went from 5% in 2015 to 21% in 2017. Algebra, from 44% mastering the test to 83% mastering the test. And our comparison groups, you see the red there. In Index 3, there was only one school in our comparison group that scored higher than Memorial. You can see the progress through the 3 years. All right? The progress is very evident. I wanted to have my instructional leaders talk to you a little bit, so they videotape our instructional leaders. I don't know how this is going to work. There's a mouse to click. No instructional leader.
Here comes your backup, Mr. Rosales, don't worry.
Well, they're here, as a matter of fact. Help is here.
Help is here.
There. Oh.
The distinction designations are awarded in the following areas: academic achievement in math, academic achievement in science, academic achievement in social studies, academic achievement in English language arts, top 25% for student progress, top 25% for closing performance gaps, and post-secondary readiness. We utilize our PLC not only to prepare lessons and activities or share strategies and demonstrate lessons with one another, but most importantly, we utilize our PLCs to compare data in order to closely monitor and adjust our instruction when necessary.
One of the things that we wanted to do as a department was to increase the rigor in our math classes, especially with our algebra students. We knew that they had passed the STAR test the year before. We wanted to make sure that they not only did pass, but got commended. We tried to go online, find activities, how can we challenge the kids, do more hands-on. One of the non-negotiables that we had was to make sure that every math teacher, or every teacher on campus had a math wall, a data wall. With their data wall, the kids see themselves where they are. They get a visual. Within this data wall, we can put anything from previous STAR scores, CFA scores, or benchmark scores, and then track their progress.
Once we looked at data, we saw which teachers had strengths in what areas, and we worked with each other and said, what did you use in your classroom, or what activities do you use, so that we can all use them the same, and have become students be more successful.
This past year, we got 6th grade and 7th grade, and of course our 8th grade. And what we did is we just kind of picked certain vocabulary, certain terminology that we all use across the board. So by the time they get to 8th grade, they know it and they're familiar with certain vocabulary. It wasn't just our department discussing, it was also our department discussing with the reading department. And what we did is we used a reading strategy called hashtag. And social studies, it's all reading. It's a lot of information that the kids need to grasp.
This past year was the first time that we communicated and collaborated a lot more than the past. So our 6th grade and 7th grade history teachers were there for us with whatever we needed. They were on board with tutoring, helping our students learn the material. For example, Flex. We started Flex intervention about 1.5 years ago, and we asked if they were able to help tutor our 8th grade students, and they said yes. And so the 6th grade and 7th grade teachers helping us with that, that helped a lot. So I think the collaboration and communication within our department, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade teachers helped our students succeed.
Vertical aligning our curriculum from 6th to 8th grade really ensures that our teachers are able to fill in any of the learning gaps that our students might have from one year to the next. When we meet during our PLCs, we meet and we plan with a purpose. We develop engaging activities that facilitate cooperative learning, as well as focusing on those TEAC standards that our students might be struggling with. As far as our STAR Blitz, it's a week-long tutoring session that occurs the week right before STAR test. And we have all the data that we've collected on our CFAs and our DCAs and our benchmarks. We use that data to plan our lessons. And so we have our kids working in cooperative groups, going through 6 or 7 stations, and they work together so that they can go on mini labs or some manipulatives or handouts that further reinforce those readiness standards, as well as the 6th and 7th grade supporting standards that they are going to be held accountable for on the STAR test. And we do this stuff to further ensure that our students are ready for that STAR test the following week.
It helps them with their recall, with their prior knowledge, and especially if they get to visit their old teachers again and say, oh, I remember we did this in 6th grade, oh, I remember we did this in 7th grade. And I think that encouraged them to remember those TEACs that they need to transfer over into 8th grade or even into the tests.
So a place that, where do we go from here? If we up our game at our school, the other 40 schools can also up their game. So as their game goes up and ours does as well, it's like I said, it's a moving target. We have to continue to improve. And so we go back to reviewing our data, looking for whatever hurdles there might be in front of us, set our new goals, and continue to improve. I wanted to recognize some of my instructional leaders that are in the audience at this time, if I may. Would you please stand to be recognized?
Right. All right.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Comments? Yes, Ms. Florea, yes.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. I would like to comment. Alex, I am extremely impressed and very grateful. You know, the specificity that you used in your strategic planning brought extraordinary results. And, you know, we shouldn't be surprised. We're looking at a math teacher here, but still, and we all know that Mr. Gonzalez at Memorial is highly competitive. But, you know, the plan that you put out was just so well thought out and so obviously carefully worked. And the monitoring that was required must have been substantial. I'm just so proud of you because, you know, we look at your situation, the situations of all of our campuses, and you're dealing with a great number of problems. You know, you're really dealing with children who come from backgrounds that are in so many ways hopefully loving and kind, but perhaps deficient in higher level academic work. And you have just you found the magic bullets here, and I'm just so proud of my old Memorial Middle School. Greg and I at least can speak to that. Javier probably too, maybe Eladio, I don't know, but I certainly know that Greg and I can, and I'm very, very proud of what you're doing over there. It's exciting. Sometimes I guess what I'm trying to say is that sometimes it seems impossible. When you look at the struggles that our campuses face, because they're the struggles that our children and our families face, it just seems so impossible. The hurdles seem so great. And it's just so refreshing to see that indeed it's not impossible at all. But it does take very careful planning and very careful thinking and very strategic specificity about what you're doing. And, it's great. And I think it's also great to see that you've got some returning students who are helping you with this job. And
yes, absolutely.
I did believe I recognized one name. So congratulations to everybody at Memorial. We're super proud of you all. Thank you for showing us that it can be done. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes,
if I
Dr.
could-
Pettis.
If I could just ask this question, Mr. Gonzalez, because first of all, kudos to you for your great leadership, and obviously when you have committed staff and you focus, laser focus on what you're trying to do, you can achieve great things, and your results are very impressive. I guess what I want to ask you is, first I'll start with a statement. There's a lot of, and this is kudos to our district, there's a lot of folks that are kind of unhappy now, a lot of the surrounding school districts, especially some of the charters and things like that. They're really unhappy with sort of that drill and kill pedagogy that we see so much of out there. It's just really just all teaching the test and drill and kill and things like that. And we're not about that. Bless you, Greg. We're not about that here in Harlingen. Obviously, our focus is on creating self-learners with a growth mindset, all with soft skills, creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, all that kind of that stuff, and with using a collaborative learning platform and problem-based. We're doing all kinds of exciting things, and of course we have arts and athletics. We're creating the whole child, right?
Right.
And so I guess my question to you is, how difficult is it to strike that balance, right? Because you do want the kids to do well on the test. That is a real concern for parents as well, and that kind of stuff. But yet you, and this is a question also for Dr. Noyola as well, but how do you strike that balance, but yet really just try to create a delightful learning environment where you're just trying to inspire the kids and you're just trying to create a love of learning, right? And so how do you strike that balance? Is it difficult? Is it easy? Is it a constant struggle? Is it dependent on the teacher? I know it's a loaded question, but anyway.
No, it's extremely difficult. But I feel that at the middle school level, our kids need to experience the whole thing. They will make selections and choices later on in their lives, but we feel that every area is as important as any. Of course, our main drive is academics, but one of the things that is different from drill and kill and what we do is that we concentrate more on having the kids learn the concept and not just mimic. When you do a drill and kill, basically you're just mimicking procedures. But when you dig deeper and go into the concrete, from concrete to abstract, and actually make students understand the concept, they're never going to forget that. As a kid, I was the type of kid that when I got a new toy, within a few days, I was taken apart because I wanted to know what made it work. And I think students are the same way. They want to know what makes it work. Don't just tell me that this is an equation and it's going to solve your problems, but what makes it work. And I think as you go from classroom to classroom, you'll find that the focus is more on understanding concepts rather than just understanding what the STAR test is about.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I also agree with my colleagues, and what's impressive is 15 you are at a certain percentage, and then 16 every year you went up, and that shows that you're building on a strong foundation and not on twigs. I guess my question is, you found a formula, you have a great staff, you're only as good as the people around you.
Absolutely.
Is it something, and maybe this is a question for the superintendent or for Dr. Noyola, but you're doing something fantastic. You have a magic bean. Are we using that for the other campuses so that they can be as successful as you are?
I would assume so. I believe so. We do collaborate from
I don't mean to
campus
put anybody in
campus.
the spot, but
We
if-
don't, I mean, we meet together with other campuses, and our doors are always open, and we, of course, we've had other campuses visit and talk to us, especially in those areas where we're really excelling, because there are some areas that are higher than others, of course.
You know, and I'm real big on data. Data doesn't lie. I mean, it's there. So there's something great that you're doing. I'd like to see that other schools are using best kept practices. One of the things that we don't want to do is reinvent the wheel, especially if you're doing something fantastic. So I'm confident that we're using a lot of the practices that you're doing and putting it all over the place as well. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Mr. Hamid, please.
I'll make this quick, and I just wish I didn't have to follow Javier in his good-looking sweater there. Had to outdo us. But I'm going to take the privilege of sitting.
Like that. You like that?
Of being able to sit up here as a member of the board, and I just congratulate you all, but actually recognize and probably embarrass one of my good friends who's sitting as one of your staff, as one of your teachers, Christy back there. I just want to tell you that I'm very proud of you. You know, we go way back many years, and she's an indication of the kind of staff you have, the dedicated staff you have. You guys are definitely going in the right direction. We're all proud of you guys, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you. George, may I say one more thing I forgot, please? I just want to say that, and I think Nolan's comments prompted my thinking. Let's remember that the context of what's happening as you're working so hard and struggling through every day on your academics is with the background of an outstanding band program, an outstanding orchestra program, an outstanding choir program, a great athletic program. And so, in fact, you really are addressing the whole child at Memorial, and you have been doing that for a long, long time. And I am sure that you feel, as I do, that is all integrated, that
Right.
they are mutually supportive, because you have excellence throughout your entire program over at Memorial. So
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Gonzalez, I tell you, you've made a comeback. We go way back. And I really want to try to put this into perspective. It was gay junior high. Well, you were there when it was gay, right?
It still is.
Yeah, okay.
There's still many big gay junior high.
Okay, right. I just kind of make that point. I wasn't on the board then before they changed the name. I just want to say that leadership matters. And I know you've been in this business for a long time. And I think you're an example of what leadership means when you reinvent and repurpose yourself. You're a mature baby boomer. You have some Generation X's out there. And I think you probably have a millennial out there, right? So what I'm saying is this. If you're going to be successful, you have to come together as a group, as a team, and create the critical mass. You're the coach, you're the leader, but what you've demonstrated here is that putting a team together, and they work together. And listening to what your staff had to say, one of your staff members stated that communication and collaboration, we've done that much better and more so. And I think that works. Also, you pointed out that 3 years ago you had 2 gold stars, 2 distinctions, and then you went to 4, and then 7. That didn't happen by chance, by luck. I want to say this, the things you talked about, data walls, you talked about a lot of things there, and board members don't need to know all those details, but it's about what goes on on the campus, in the classrooms, and the teachers and instructional coaches. You all really matter. Let's give them a big round of applause. Now, I've often said that the superintendent of the board is here for the photo shoot, When you see those, when you see those things, you say, "What has he done?" Really, okay. But I always make it a point to say, "You're the difference," and certainly the parents. We appreciate that very much. And the last thing I want to say is this: is that Dr. Brown, who spoke at our kickoff, there's a few things he said. He talked about the 4 F's. He said you need to have fun, you need to be friendly, be fair, and focus. And that's what you all have done. And with that, job well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you, guys. Y'all did awesome. Thank you.
Very well. Okay. We'll move now to public comments. And we have one.
Thank you all so much.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, whoa.
Thank you.
Very good.
So
Ooh, wee.
Oh my goodness. Bless your hearts.
Thank you.
Thank you all so very much.
Thank you so much. Oh, very nice. Thank you.
Award, Dr.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I got a.
All right, I just take
Thank
one.
you
Okay.
so much.
Oh, my
Oh,
goodness.
my goodness gracious.
Thank you all. Just, oh, my
Thank
goodness.
you.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Oh, my, thank you. Oh, whoa. What am I going to do?
Wow, what am I going to do? That's right.
I'm going to be.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to be up all. Oh, my goodness. We're going to get that sugar in there. Wow.
I hope there's insulin in the last bag. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my goodness. I can have this.
They're awesome. Thank you so much. This is amazing. No, what's your name?
Oh my goodness.
Daniel Nolan. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for what you do for these little ones. Thank you.
Look at that, Mr. McShann. My God, we're going to be awake all night. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I saw it.
Oh, yeah, I can see. Okay. That's not that. Okay. I see the favor.
Go get more coffee.
Yeah, let's take it.
Mr. President, I just want to say that since I didn't get to eat at the Christmas
eat
dinner
all
and
of
the
it.
superintendent did send me a plate while we're having the rest of our board meeting, I have a lot of food.
We take a photo shoot here.
Yes.
Okay, let's do that.
Come on, Girl Scouts.
Right here on the lower.
Thanks for the cookies. How you doing? So you officially kicked it out?
She should be back soon.
Oh, that's
She's
the last-
recovering.
One of them has peanut butter. You gotta keep that away from my son.
Everybody there? Yeah, sure, sure. Wait, stay there.
Bobby would have forgot.
I know. Don't tell Bob. Do you all know about Absolutely. Ready? Everybody ready? One, two, and three.
You know, can we hold off on it? I kind of want to hear what she just mentioned right now that she wanted to take a photo with the principal, Mr. Snavely. So, Mr. Snavely, come on in here.
Good stuff.
Quentin Anderson.
I see some future doctors and engineers and school board members in the front two rows there, and lawyers too. That's and the superintendent. Hurry, please. We need some help.
Slow down. Pump the brake. Pump the brake.
Right, very well. Well,
great job.
Again, thank you all so very much. Great job. Appreciate that. Now we'll move to approval of consent calendar.
Mr. President, move approval of consent calendar as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Pettis, second by Ms. DeLeon. Is there a discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Matters relating to transformation in school support. Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee report. Dr. Noyola.
Thank you, Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, board members, senior team, and audience. Earlier this month, we had a Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee where we had two presentations that were brought forward. The first presentation was entitled Career and Technical Education, Our Transformational Journey. In 2014, the strategic plan really set the foundation for this transformation. Our strategic plan called for us to develop curriculum that would focus on post-secondary endorsements and certifications. So over the last 3 years, our career and technical programming has undergone a huge transformation, as you've seen throughout the various presentations we've done over the last 3 years. At our Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee meeting, we shared the various academies that have been implemented this past year, including our Apprenticeship Academy, our MACA, our Automotive Training, our Firefighter Academy, our Teacher Academy, and so forth. Some great pieces within that evolution. We've gone from providing students an opportunity for 22 certifications to 46 in a 3-year span. So some fantastic pieces. But we also took an opportunity to share with you some of what's still remaining as part of our strategic plan and some of the new programmings that we are looking to offer. Amongst those, we talked about certifications that will be forthcoming in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, certifications in plumbing, veterinary assistant. We're looking at an EMT pathway for our students, a diesel equipment technology. Also looking at some innovative technology opportunities that are out there in the areas of drone technology, cybersecurity, chemical technology in the oil and gas field. A lot of certifications that are in demand that will provide our students tremendous opportunities moving forward beyond high school. The second presentation that we did was entitled HCISD Wellness Works, Mind, Body, and Soul. And so under the direction of Luis Solorio, Sandra Flynn, and Julio Cavazos, they shared a little bit about our wellness program. So as you know, we've had wellness plans in our district for a number of years. But under their leadership, they have moved to the development of a comprehensive wellness plan. Comprehensive in the sense that we move beyond just physical wellness, but also mind and soul. And so within their presentation, they shared some of the pieces that they are incorporating with regard to building all 3 areas of wellness. Talked a little bit about the financial literacy training because we know the stressors that come that impact the body as well. So they talked a little bit about that, how to manage stress as well. So a number of the programs that they are looking to implement. As part of that presentation, Julio Cavazos did speak a little bit about our self-funded program and shared how that committee is going to be comprised to make sure that we're including everybody throughout our district as part of the people that will guide us as we move through this self-funding for our district. Those were the 2 presentations. Dr. Pettis chairs our committee. Dr. Pettis, I don't know if you'd like to share anything additional.
Well, sure. Just briefly, I again very impressed with both presentations. Very impressed with our 46 certifications now and the new plans for the academies and see how they come into fruition. Very exciting opportunities for our students, and I know that it's going to create a lot more opportunities for them as they go forward with their post-secondary education, as they further themselves after leaving HCISD, and some certainly could enter the workforce if they choose to. And it's very, very impressive what you all are doing. And I think that it was apparent to me that I think when you compare our district to other districts our size, we're well ahead. And we're not stopping there, which is a good thing. We're well ahead, but we also are on a continuous growth mindset and we continue to innovate and add more options for our students, which is amazing. The other presentation was also very timely since we now are self-funded, and so it's really nice to see a focus on wellness in the district and in so many different ways. I love the title, Mind, Body, and Soul, and I think the whole plans that the team put forward resonated well with the board. So just congratulations. I do want to sort of give a little plug and just sort of remind the board and remind folks in the audience that, you know, we're coming up towards the end of our strategic plan, and I think we're about 3.5 years into it, or a little bit more, and maybe a little bit less than a year and a half left. You know, I personally just want to say that I know that this journey of transformation or this journey of innovation won't end. We're a district of innovation. We will not lose our growth mindset. I would like to see what the plan is following that in the next maybe 6 months or so, and what is the district going to look like going forward. I would love to see the designs teams stick around. I mean, why? What's the reason to get rid of them? I mean, they continue to sort of, come up with amazing concepts that improve everything from our classroom instruction to the campus culture to just everything else. And so with different programs and pathways for our students. And so I'm just curious. I'm just throwing it out there as a just out of curiosity, what's going to happen going forward? Obviously, none of us do maintenance. We're not just going to maintain, and it's like the iPhones, right? You get a new iPhone, and then you still got to do updates every other day, it seems, as things improve and that kind of stuff. And so I know this district won't stop with its innovation, and so I'd be curious to see what is sort of the innovation, and what do we do sort of following with the design teams post, I guess, strategic plan, just out of curiosity. But thank you, Dr. Nola, for your leadership. And again, Dr. Cavazos, for continuing to bring such impactful topics to the Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee. It's just a very great dialogue that we have. And this board is blessed to be able to share this space with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pettis. Well said. Well done. We'll move now to matters related to business services. Consideration approval of 2016-2017 independent audit. Mr. Julio Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. McShann, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 8A is consideration and approval of 2016-17 independent audit. The audit committee met earlier this afternoon to hear Quentin Anderson discuss the external audit report. Audit showed that we had a healthy fund balance of over $36 million, and there were no audit findings. Mr. Anderson is here to answer any questions the board might have. So, Quentin.
Mr. President, I move for approval of the audit report.
Second the motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Powers, second by Dr. Pettis. Is there a discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Anderson. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Quentin.
Thank you, Quentin. Thank you.
Would you like to have a word to say, sir?
Would you like some snacks, sir?
You guys have been here for a long time. We did meet with the audit committee, as Mr. Cavazos indicated, and reviewed your financial condition, your financial position, the results of our compliance testing, and covered some recommendations that we have. I think in your packet you have a copy of the report, a copy of our comments and communications, as well as some charts that we put together. I encourage you to take a look at the charts, and they're a good summarized version of the financial information. But the district has done a good job, as you would expect from your personnel, in preparing the financial statements, receiving the certificate of achievement for excellence in financial reporting, and we commend them for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. I'd like to report being at this committee meeting that Mr. Anderson did an excellent job, really made the information very user-friendly. We have at the dais here, he separated the required communications document and then his PowerPoint that really detailed the audit findings. And particularly did say the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Mr. Cavazos, congratulations, you and your team doing an outstanding job. I must say it was very thorough. And to understand really that this district with over $200 million budget, breaking down the federal piece, which is about $30 million, did an excellent job. So thank you very much. Well done. Okay. Let's move to the internal audit quarterly report. Ms. Nellie Ledesma.
Thank you, Mr. McShann, members of the board, Dr. Cavazos, and senior staff members. The audit committee and I met earlier this afternoon, and we heard the following 5 audit reports that were conducted to assist the external auditors in their work. The work performed on each of these audits was relied upon them. The audits are an audit of year-end physical inventories, an audit of general payroll disbursements, an audit of bid files, an audit of state compliance of limited English proficient student records, and an audit of state compliance of special education eligibility. These reports were discussed in depth with the audit committee members, and I am here to answer any questions you may have unless a member of the audit committee or Mr. McShann would like to elaborate on what we discussed.
Ms. Ledesma, excellent job as usual. She covered the breadth of the district, particularly in the area of the finance, payroll, district operations with Mr. Tapia, particularly the piece that dealt with auditing consumable supplies and materials. That's in the area of maintenance, transportation. I also went to child nutrition. It was really very comprehensive. I mean, well done. I don't know how you did all this, you and your staff, but it was excellent. Well done. Well documented.
Thank you, Ms. Ledesma.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's move to construction, consideration and approval to award construction services contracts for the HVAC improvement at Long Wilson, Milam Elementary, CSP number CNST 1117-1. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. McShann, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 8C is consideration and approval of award of HVAC improvements at Long, Wilson, and Milam. The ranking committee met and ranked the 2 proposals that were received. The committee is recommending the top rank offer of Central Air and Heat at a cost of $586,365. We did discuss this at our facility committee meeting last week. We're recommending approval. Any questions the board might have?
Mr. President, I move for approval of the award as recommended by staff on the construction services contract for HVAC improvements at Long, Wilson, and Milam.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Powers, second by Mr. Hymas. Is there a discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Consideration and approval of award construction services contract for the Vernon Middle School fencing improvements project, CSP number CNST 1117-2. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. McShann, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 8D is consideration and approval of award of fencing project at Vernon Middle School. Ranking committee met and ranked the 5 proposals that were received. The committee is recommending the top rank offer of Hurricane Fence at a cost of $125,774. Again, we did discuss this at our facility committee meeting last week. We recommend approval.
Mr. President, I move for approval of the award for construction services contract for Vernon Middle School fencing project as recommended by staff.
I second the motion.
A motion, Mr. Powers, second by Mrs. Fleury. Is there discussion?
Just one point I'd like to make.
Yes,
and that
Mr.
is,
Powers.
it's my understanding this is the same company that did the existing fence, the new fencing that we have around Bogus Stadium, so which has turned out to be really, really good, so.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Consideration and approval of the memorandum of understanding between Harlingen CISD and Workforce Solutions, Cameron County. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. McShann, Dr. Cavazos, board members. By participating in this MOU, it will allow the district up to $10,000 for expenses incurred at our daycare at Keys Academy. Our participation requires the district to provide child care quality activities as well as provide a quarterly report to certify our expenses. as part of our local match. The federal monies received will be spent on educational material, age-appropriate equipment, and professional staff. Again, it's $10,000 that we do receive by participating in this MOU. We are recommending approval.
Well,
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between Harlingen CISD and Workforce Solutions.
Second.
motion by Mr. Hyman, second by Mr. Powers. Is there discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Appointment of Cameron Appraisal District Representative, Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. McShann, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 8F is the appointment of Cameron Appraisal District Representative. This term is up. Our current representative, Jesse Villarreal, has said that he would be interested in serving another 2 years. He has served 8 years, and he said he was willing to serve 2 more years, so we're recommending for him to be appointed to serve another 2 years. You have any questions?
Mr. President, I move approval of the Cameron County Appraisal, Cameron Appraisal District Representative as presented by Mr. Cavazos.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Pettis, second by Mr. Hymas. Is there discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Matters relating to human services. Consideration and approval of voluntary teacher incentive agreement for early notification of resignation from employment. Ms. Veronica Cartan.
Mr. McShann, board members, Dr. Cavazos, senior team and audience, I'm here this evening to once again see if we can have an approval for the voluntary incentive agreement for early notification of resignation from employment. As you may recall, this initiative was brought in a few years ago based on our longitudinal data. We want to make sure that we are going to be able to recruit the very best applicants at the most opportune time. And therefore, our model, our 543 model, as we refer to it, allows for us to have individuals declare their retirement or resignation starting as early as January for an incentive of $500. If they do so in February, it's an incentive of $400, and in March, it's an incentive of $300. It has been really, really successful these last couple of years. Last year, we had 50 early notifications for resignation, and so that really impacts our talent acquisition. So this evening, we are here to recommend approval for the early notification of resignation program.
Mr. President, I move for approval of the voluntary teacher incentive agreement for early notification and resignation from employment as recommended by staff.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Powers, second by Mr. De Leon. Is there a discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, I just want to thank you, you for your leadership in this department, Veronica. But again, thank Dr. Cavazos for the foresight and what you all are doing in the talent acquisition department is just amazing. And so this is just part of that strategy. We're curious to see how many sign up this year. Folks that are already gonna leave us.
Yes.
We just are trying to help them leave a little early, which really immensely helps the quality of human capital that we can replace them with. So thanks for your leadership.
Thank you. Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Matters relating to district operations, facilities committee report, Mr. Tapia.
Thank you, President McShann, members of the board, Dr. Cavazos. On December 5th, 2017, we held a facilities committee meeting. First item we discussed was a presentation on the 2016-17 school electrical consumption report, where we went over some trends on the consumption and cost of various schools. We also went over the demolition of the Harrison Street properties here by Vernon Middle School and the progress there. We also went over the Vernon decorative fence that we had received bids and proposals, which we just awarded here a little while ago. Went over a whole bunch of small projects, Coakley sidewalk and marquee improvements, the ongoing AC upgrades at Harlingen High School and the commissioning work that's going on there. Got an update on the baseball and softball field upgrades. The parking lots are done and they're working on the building and on the bleachers. AC upgrades at Wilson Long Island, we had received bids. We also just awarded it a little while ago. Went over some roofing projects at Austin, Sam Houston, Crockett, Treasure Hills mini gym. Got an update on the middle school surveillance cameras. Vernon's complete. Gutierrez and Vela, so we're off at Coakley Middle School as the last middle school to receive the new camera systems. Metal canopy additions, we saw the pictures of the Ag Farm metal canopy going up, and then the Lee Means and Long entry canopies in front of the schools, and got an update on the Lee Means parking lot addition going on in the back of the school for the teachers parking. Water fountain upgrades had already been awarded, and we just signed the contract, so we're getting that project going and waiting for the building permit to get started. And this year's TRE projects, the new surveillance camera upgrades at Key, Sac, and Early College, we got 4 bids, and we're recommending ranking that project as well. And then the athletic tracks, so we got an update from the architects on the artificial turf projects, the cross-section of the tracks, and where we are on bidding that project after the holidays. Treasure Hills Elementary, we got a presentation from the project architect on a site plan that he's developed there. We've met with the school principal and Ms. Romero on reviewing the building program for that project and going forward with the design. Went over several change orders on various projects, and Julio Cavazos ended the report by presenting construction funds and other project financial reports. I'll turn it over to Mr. Powers, our chairman for the facilities committee.
Just a couple comments. I think everybody here's noticed the improvements with the demolition at the corner of Harrison and 77. I mean, it looks great. Gracie Gutierrez asked me tonight if we were going to put a Starbucks there. So anyway, it looks terrific. The fence I'm real excited about. We had a lot of we had some architectural photographs of what we're going to have, and it looks terrific. It's going to give Vernon its own identity, separate from the Bogus Stadium area, and it's going to be sod with grass, and it's going to really, really look nice. And I hope we can get a sprinkler system in there also. So
that wasn't in the facility.
And there's a lot of great things going to happen out at Treasure Hills. We saw a preliminary preview of the plans, and they're working on it. And I think at the next meeting we'll have a lot better idea of exactly where we're headed. And finally, the water fountain project, which is dear and near to my heart, because they were actually here when I was here. And I hope we take at least one and put it in our museum. So, thank you, Oscar.
Oscar.
Mr. Powers, in 1957, were you able to drink from that fountain?
I was still in kindergarten. So.
Okay, that was a photo at Valor and Star, and today, I understand. I didn't see the fountain. I just want to know if you were there. Okay.
Well, I can tell you in 1947 there were fountains to drink out of, just like the old ones at Austin. So.
Jerry wants one for her house. So.
No.
All right.
Thank you so much anyway.
Thank you so much for the facilities report. And now we'll move to School Board Continuing Education Report. It's required by law to report school board continuing education training for the Board of Trustees. I'm pleased to report that the Board of Trustees met all requirements for continuing education, and Tier 1 and Tier 2 and Tier 3. November 8th of 2017, we had our team building workshop conducted by TASB. The team of 8 with Dr. Cavazos and all 7 board members in attendance. So please know that we're in compliance.
Right.
Okay. It is 8 o'clock. An adjournment to close executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.082, the Open Meetings Act, for the following purposes: consultation with legal counsel concerning pending litigation, including matters style, Travelers Casualty and Surety Company of America versus HCISD, case number 716 CV00411 in the United States District Court, Southern District of Texas, McAllen Division, SMAC Mechanical, LTD, Southern Mechanical Air Condition versus HCISD, case number 2015-DCL-04578 in the 103rd District Court, Cameron County, Texas, and Adriana Pena-Aguilar versus HCISD Public Facility Corp., case number 2017 DCL 07501 in the 357th District Court of Cameron County. Discuss employment of teachers and other professional staff. We're now in executive session. It is 9:01. We reconvene into open session for action on matters discussed in executive session. Before we proceed with that, I want to go back to our open session on school board continuing education report as required by law. I'm to read each board member's continuing education credits based on Tier 3. Javier De Leon, 16.25 hours. Jerry Fleurier, 12.25 hours. Bobby Meniz, 54 hours.
Whoa. Leadership task.
That's because he was a graduate leadership TASB.
Okay.
George McShann, 40.25 hours. Dr. Nola Pettis, 8 hours. Greg Powers, 11 hours. Eladio James, 9 hours. And all board members are in compliance with the continuing education credit as required by law. Now we'll proceed with our agenda. Consider and take possible action regarding possible resolution regarding Adriana Pena-Aguilar versus HCISD Public Facilities Corp., case number 2017-DCL 07501 in the 357th District Court of Cameron County.
Mr. President, I move to approve the settlement resolution as discussed in executive session in order to resolve the lawsuit referenced in the agenda as Adrian Pena-Aguilar versus HCISD Public Facility Corporation, and to authorize the superintendent to take all action necessary regarding settlement resolution on behalf of the Board of Trustees.
Second.
A motion by Dr. Pettis, second by Mr. De Leon. Is there discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider and take possible action regarding SMAC SMAC Mechanical LTD, Southern Mechanical Air Conditioning versus HCISD case number 2015-DCL-04578 in the 103rd District Court, Cameron County.
Mr. President, I move to approve action as discussed in executive session regarding the lawsuit referenced in the agenda as SMAC Mechanical LTD, DBA Southern Mechanical Air Conditioning versus HCISD, and to authorize the superintendent to negotiate contracts as deemed necessary prior to consideration by the Board of Trustees.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Powers, second by Mr. Hymas. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider employment of teachers and other professional staff.
Mr. President, I make a motion for approval of the employment of teachers and other professional staff as recommended by administration.
Second the motion.
We have a motion by Mr. De Leon, second by Dr. Pettis. Is there a discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And this regular board meeting is adjourned.
Excellent.